Welcome back to our expert series on skin nutrition. In this lesson we're going to look at something else the omega-3 and omega-6 families do for us. So it was discovered that the essential fatty acids in these families could be used by our body to produce substances that control inflammation and clotting. So let's have a look at the omega-3 family. So in the omega-3 family, it was found if these fats were converted into eicosapentaenoic acid, that out of that fat, the body can produce beautiful anti-inflammatory, anti-clotting substances. So this really promoted omega-3 fats, and everyone got very excited about them. Omega-6 does the same. If you convert through to dihomogammalinolenic acid, the body will also create beautiful anti-inflammatory and anti-clotting substances. But it was also discovered that omega-6 could, if it went through to arachidonic acid, create inflammatory and clotting substances, and this created this huge concern. And I can remember this because at the time I was using only omega-6 oils to help my clients with their skin disorders, so I was only using this family. These days I know better and I use both families, but in those days it was only omega-6, and I can remember ringing my mentor when this information came out and saying to her, am I doing the wrong thing? And she said to me, Janine, what do you see in practice when you're working with your clients? What is the common denominator with all of these skin disorders? And I thought about it and I said to her, inflammation. Because every single client, if you had acne or rosacea or eczema or seborrheic dermatitis, you were dealing with a degree of inflammation. And what I found, if I gave them good quality omega-6s, I would get an anti-inflammatory effect on their skin and their skin would heal. So I knew in practice that omega-6 fats tended towards this pathway, and that has since been proven. We now know that as long as those omega-6 fats are good quality and not exposed to a lot of heat, light and oxygen, they always go down this beautiful anti-inflammatory, anti-clotting pathway. However, if your body needs it, say you cut your hand and you're bleeding and you need to heal, first of all you need to clot, otherwise you're going to hemorrhage and die. So then the body would quickly convert over into this inflammatory clotting pathway, and the blood would clot and inflammation would set up in that area and it would promote healing. So it meant that the omega-6s have the ability to flip to what the body requires. But omega-3 will only ever be inflammatory, anti-inflammatory and anti-clotting. And this is why you may have been advised by surgeons not to be having omega-3 rich oils prior to surgery, because they're really worried that you may not clot and you could hemorrhage and die. So that kind of explains that. So unfortunately though, there was a lot of misinformation around this, and it was kind of the first nail in the omega-6's coffin really, because everyone naturally assumed that it would do this inflammation and clotting. And it wasn't until we realized that if you badly treat these oils, so if you buy them from the supermarket and they're heat pressed to get a high yield and they're in plastic clear containers, so they're exposed to light and there's oxygen in the bottle, and then you take them home and you fry the heck out of them and it can develop trans fats, then trans fats will always go through the arachidonic acid pathway and be inflammatory and clotting. So the bottom line is, what they've discovered, as long as you have good quality essential fatty acids, your body will be able to adjust to what it requires at the time. Whereas if you have processed and heat treated oils, then you are at risk of having this inflammatory clotting pathway. So hopefully that helps solve that mystery. In the next video we're going to look at another myth regarding omega-6. So I'll see you there.